Hola, mi gente. Hello, my people. Welcome. Bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy en Día TV. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we are so blessed to be here today because we have so much to be thankful for. And I will say that I'm truly thankful for my two amazing co-hosts. We have Nadine Barton, the entrepreneur author, and we have Dr. Cece, the actionist entrepreneur author. Yes. Welcome. Bienvenidos, ladies. How are you?
Hello. Hola. How are you guys doing? You guys are looking lovely as always.
So are you.
Thank you. The Hoy en Día t-shirt that really, the colors really brings out the color of my eyes.
Right.
Yeah. More to come, more colors to come. So just a heads up, we're gonna have different colors. With me, I like to test quality and all that. So before I, move it forward to you all, I'm testing it on myself first. So.
Yes. I love it. That color green looks good on you. Green,
yeah, it does.
More like olive.
I love it. Yeah, actually, green on the low, outside of like red being my favorite color, green is another color that I appreciate and that I like. So. I will say that. So thank you for the compliment. Thank you. But shout out to
red's my favorite color too.
What green is?
That's something common. Red. It's my favorite.
Oh, red? Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Red. I love. Yeah. But shout out to Collective Custom Wear for the custom Hoy en Día shirts. So if you have that special occasion coming up, whether it be an anniversary, a family gathering, just hanging out with friends, just doing podcasts like we're doing here, just the sky's never the limit. Think outside the box. You need a custom shirt, get your custom shirts. Order today, and that commercial is going to be coming up. So yeah. But lovelies, I mean, I'm thankful for y'all. Happy gobble turkey day if y'all eat turkey. I'm not a big fan of turkey. I know. But so talk to me. What are your plans? Any plans?
No, not really.
I had plans and I was excited. And some people may be like, what are you talking about? But I was going to go to the Golden Corral. Okay. Because look, my aunt and family came about a year ago and she had me in the kitchen like all it's serious, y'all. That all is real all day. Yes, and everything had to be from scratch and all this stuff. And the food was amazing, but I just really realized that I just don't like cooking that like that, and when you're in there for hours and hours and hours on end, you're just like, enough already. And so I was just so happy. Me and my family both was just like, we'll go to the Golden Corral. The only thing that sucks about Golden Corral is that when you come home later on, you don't have the leftovers. I guess we could buy some stuff and pack it with us, but because you eat there, you get your bellies full, you sit, you rest, you digest, you eat a little bit more, and then you roll on home, right? You take that nap, watch some football, whatever it is you do. And then it's like, okay, I'm hungry again. And it's like, we're not going back to Golden Corral because the lines are pretty long, right? But the food is amazing there. So, but friends invited us over to their home. So we're going to go there and just kind of hang out and stuff. And we're like, what can we bring? And they were like, oh, you guys can bring the steaks. You guys are good for the steaks. And I'm like, what? Because those steaks, my husband pays like triple digits for like steaks, like to feed. And he's on the grill cooking them and all. And I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. So bring them some chicken, some turkey, and some head. No, I don't know, but it won't be steaks, okay? And then he gets all like the top cuts and all of that. So I'm like, no sir, no sir. And I didn't realize that he was doing that, y'all. Until one day I had went with him, because this is like when I was doing my doctorates, and so I wasn't socializing pretty much with anybody. It was always school, and so on the weekends it was just more school. And so when I found out that he was like always buying steaks, and like I'm like, dude, you can't do that. I'm allergic to beef, so I never get the steaks. You see what I'm saying? So you're spending like triple digits, 2, 3 plus. Like, no, we're not doing that.
It's like somebody.
What are you doing?
It's like somebody's asking, oh, I always want oxtail, but oxtail is like $10 a pound. Like, if you buy it, yeah, I'll cook it.
Oh, yeah. My husband he loves her oxtails. So every time we come to visit, he's like, where my oxtails at, sis? I'm like, oxtails are expensive. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, they're pricey.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Well, sis, since you're mentioning all you can eat place, right? A place that I recently came across that I don't know if they even open on Thanksgiving, but if they are, I highly recommend it because you do pay a little extra, but if you talk to the owner, you pay a little extra and you take something to go. It's called So Hot. It's a hot pot, Chinese / Korean.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm hooked. Like I'm so hooked to the point where I had to learn the recipe, and I learned the recipe, and I nailed it. Like now I'm cooking it at home, so that's actually what I'm cooking for Thanksgiving for myself because my honey said he wants something else. But I'm cooking some Chinese hot pot.
Nice.
Yes.
It sounds good, Yesy.
It's like Korean. Is it like the
Korean barbecue,
hot pot, right? You're cooking on the grills and you're doing all the stuff. Is it like that restaurant experience?
So they have that option. So the hot pot is a big, like a deep, kind of like a caldero, what?
Like a wok, right? Like a wok.
But they have like a yin and a yang, depending on if you want different broths. What really makes a hot pot is the broth flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know, sis, you said you're allergic to, but I usually get the beef and the pork mix, but they have like veggie broth, they have seafood broth, chicken broth. So it just really depends on what you're into. And it's all fresh ingredients. So you have this tablet and you can order. They charge you for the broth, and because all you can eat. So on average, I would say about $35. It could be a little bit more depending on what you're adding to it. But it's a standard like $35 to $40. And I say that because there is a different location in Raleigh that they offer the barbecue and they're a little higher. Right. And so
I know what you're talking about. That's the one we went to, the one in Raleigh, and it was really good. And I think we left $200 later.
Yep. Sounds about right.
But wait a minute. How many people went?
So for me and my family, so it was 4 of us. So, but Israel, he didn't really, but me, so 3 adults, and then because you might see if he's an adult, so, and then the kids. So, and the kids were like, I think like half off, and then like our neighbors went and their kid. So, and normally we always pay for everybody's stuff, but then I was like, well, dog, our bill is $200. How much is there? I was like, what? But it's good, sis. You're right. So you're making that exciting.
Yeah, I learned because
tell her to bring you a plate, Cece.
Yes. Well, trust me. Hey, when we come see you, we'll find a grocery store. Because the trick is this: I don't know if there is like an Asian market here by us. We have an Asian market, so I'm able to get all the fresh ingredients. But if you have an Asian market, they have the slices that are needed for this specific dish. It's the slices, and then they have all the fresh ingredients. So I'll be happy to make it for us for sure. I mean, I love it. And
David would love that.
It's a little spicy, so you'll have to let me know like the spicy tolerance, because I'm gonna have to like lighten it a lot if you can't really tolerate spicy. So just a heads up about that. It's a little spicy because I love spicy. Like that's, people ask me
David
like, how
does. We love spicy.
Thin, and that's actually a good way to stay thin and to metabolize is by eating spicy foods. It's fun fact. You can look it up. Cayenne pepper, any type of pepper helps with metabolism, with going to the bathroom, things like that. So yeah,
that's amazing. I love my friends. I always cook for my friends, and when Rose came, she made me her Filipino lumpia. I love that.
Oh,
yes.
I'm gonna have to make some pancit and all of that because that's good stuff. Yes, all this food's making me hungry.
But this is good though because we're giving our audience different dishes to think about, right? Because a lot of times when we think about Thanksgiving or the holidays, people bring up the same dishes, and I'm like, this year I wanted to be different. I want to think
I'm over Thanksgiving. I'm over Thanksgiving. I'm sorry.
Really? Why, ma'am? Please explain. Talk to me here. Talk to us.
No, I mean nothing pinpoint, but I'm on a different journey. I'm trying not to eat all that food.
I remember like one time.
You see my face when I gain weight, go right to my face. Now I'm looking like a little hoopaloo.
Your face is beautiful. You know, I did a non-traditional Thanksgiving one time when I was living in California, and I really didn't know how to cook much at all, but my dad walked me through everything. And because we had friends that were Korean and Filipino and Vietnamese, like everybody, you know, so we had all these different dishes. It was amazing. And I had made a lot of new dishes too that I wasn't even like, what is this? But my dad was helping me out with a lot of stuff because too, like, you know, the traditional Thanksgivings, the food can be quite, you know, hearty and heavy, right? You know, you're just trying to digest the stuffing and the turkey and all and it can be a lot. It can definitely, and you definitely got to kind of pace yourself. And I really don't want to eat a whole lot. I actually want fish this Thanksgiving, to be honest. I just want some fish and veggies.
Wait a minute. I saw a video last night. I think I don't remember if I sent it to you guys because I'm always posting stuff in the group. The lady was like, "Don't eat the chicken." I'm like, what is in the chicken? You know, you saw the video. Did you see it?
I saw it.
No, I didn't.
The chicken. What is in the chicken?
So Cece, and for the viewers and listeners, pretty much she was sharing that she had God download. She had a dream, and God downloaded this thought to share to the audience, her followers, this lady's followers, to remind them that there's vaccines in the chicken, and we've seen other stories, you know, that have shared that there's like hormones and extra stuff and including vaccines. And so that was pretty much more of a reminder. That's how I received it, is she was just sharing the reminder that, okay, don't eat the chicken. But mind you, I mean, when I saw that, I understood where she was coming from. But I pray over my food, so I know God is going to remove and rebuke whatever negativity is going to be in here because it's going to be gone.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then in the comments I was reading too, people were saying, and if you notice that they say, you know, food that usually goes spoil really quick, not going spoil anymore. Like people are saying that bread doesn't get moldy anymore. And I'm like, come to think about it, I'm like, I have bread in my pantry for like a minute because, you know, I'll buy food and it just sit there. Oh my God, bless my heart. And it's so true. It would not go moldy. It gets hard a little bit, but it will not go moldy. I promise you.
It's all the preservatives that they put in to try to keep it, to make it last and all that. And like, so what I've been doing, and it's kind of a waste of money, but Publix is really amazing because they'll take your stuff back. So I've just been, sometimes I'll buy stuff and to see if it'll go bad. You know, because you kind of know when food's supposed to go bad. And if it's not going bad within that time frame, and they'll take it back. Like you do a rainy day, or they'll just completely exchange it for you with that. But yeah, I make fresh bread and it'll go bad like super quick. Like just even like, you know, I'm just getting back to the way of just making everything fresh. The thing is, like even making mayo, it's just like olive oil and eggs. And you know what I'm saying? You're just mixing the stuff. But it goes bad in like less than 2 weeks. Just about, you know, so you can't make a whole lot, you know, real food, right? You know, you should actually just be, it should go bad. If it's not going bad, it's not real food. And like, because I just bought some grapes. I'm like, is this happening to you all? And viewers, you guys let us know too. I'm shopping for grapes, right? There's no more seeded grapes. Everything is seedless. And I'm like, this is not real food. This is food that's been grown in the lab. Like,
listen, the other day I bought some strawberries, and I'm kidding you not. And you know, Cece, I'm always complaining about my fruits and stuff. Because I'm always inspecting them. But I went to buy the strawberries, and I won't say which supermarket it was. One that's close to me. If you came to my house, you know which one is the closest to me. But girl, I bought the strawberries. I was like, yes, nice, fresh strawberries. You see this little top right here? I don't know if you can see it. This little red top. Mm-hmm. The strawberries look nice and red and juicy. And I promise you not, it was the next day. I should have said, next time I'm going to purposely go and buy strawberries, and I'm going to record the date and the day after, whatever. The next day, the strawberries were, you know, it was so red and it was faded. like faded going into white. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Mm-hmm. They're spraying them. They're doing all that stuff. You're right. Because it looks all pretty in the store, and you get it home the next day, and it's like, woo, because the lights, they're like setting the mood for you when you go grocery shop. They got the music playing, setting the mood. They got the lights all.
The water sprinkling over the veggies, making it
right.
and
then the veggies, you're like, this is a whole experience, okay? Give me some fresh veggies here, okay?
What is the temperature in their refrigerator in the deli? Because or in the the produce section, because I want to know. I want to send my refrigerator to that, because their fruits and veggies are looking nice and juicy and vibrant. And by the time we get to my house, well, the next day it's like somebody done murdered the fruits.
Murdered the fruit. That's how
murdered the fruit, sis.
Crazy.
That's funny. You know what, sis? You should come up with something like that. Like, you should look at the fruit like somebody murdered the fruit, and it's like a gift. Like,
that's good.
I know your skit brain is working overtime.
That's the actress. That's the actress in y'all, okay?
That's right. Talking about having a time in the whole music. Anybody that ever visits Puerto Rico, San Juan Walmart, when I went this past October, when I'm telling you we had a time, they had a DJ in there. People were dancing at Walmart in San Juan. The lights were flickering like it was a club inside of Walmart. And when I'm telling you, it was sad for people, because people were having a good time. They were shopping, they were in the music, DJ playing.
Next time you go, yes, you have to record and show us.
Oh yeah, actually, let me see. I think I still have that recording, because I recorded it, because I was taken back. I'm like, really? In San Juan, they're having a party at Walmart? All right, let me find out.
Wow.
In the Walmart, that's an experience. Like, I want to go have that experience, okay? Because it just makes you happy, and I bet it does something psychologically, because you're feeling good. The music's playing, you're dancing, just putting stuff in the buggy and whatnot, and you get to the register, and you're like, oh, it's not so bad, because you just dancing your way on out till you get home, and you're like, wait, I just came here for a loaf of bread. I don't know, for like $500 worth.
Exactly, it's the trick for you to shop more. That's what it is.
That's genius, though. That is genius.
It is.
Like, whoever thought about that? Because I honestly, I was one of those, sis, where I just went for a couple things, and the next thing I knew, my bill was like a lot, and I'm like, wait, what happened? I was like, no.
Gotcha. If it's you're all happy, at least for the moment, you're experiencing some happiness. You're shopping, and you're like, yeah. And you know what? It might even cut down. And I'm wondering now, because my scientific brain is thinking. I'm wondering if people are in a store and they're feeling good and they're happy. I wonder if it decreases shoplifting. I wonder, because you're just you're not trying to be all sneaky, because you're just having a good time. People around you laughing and high-fiving and all of that. So I wonder, right?
You know what? We should ask Alex. I was going to say Tyrone. We should ask Alex, our AI. You were here last week when we introduced Alex. He's our
no what?
Wait, he was not here last week.
Here, let me find him. Where's Alex?
We need to ask Alex. Okay, all right.
Alex is amazing, girl. Alex is amazing. I love Alex. You know what I mean? I was talking to Alex. I was having a conversation with Alex. I'm like, Alex, are you single, Alex?
You got some brothers.
Let me find him. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Go find Alex, because I gotta meet Alex, okay? It's like that one girl that's like on TikTok. I think you sent a video, and she's like asking Sage or whoever it is, and she's talking all the deep stuff, right? And then the thing is all like answering the questions and all this and that. Very interesting. So now we have an Alex. Okay, all right. So what were you guys asking Alex last week?
Yeah, she was just basically asking Alex some basic questions, and he was just basically using his brain and answering like a normal person. Like, we're having a conversation right now. He's like, oh, let me know if there's anything else I could help you with your show. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what? Let's dive deep into it. Let's go.
Wow. I changed my AI's voice too on mine. I like the voice of my AI. program.
Right. You know, Copilot is my best friend. I'm always talking to Copilot.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
if
I
you're
have to
alone
use
and don't have
that.
anybody to talk to, go talk to Copilot, okay?
All right, so I have Alex here with us. So let's see. Hey, Alex, are you there with us? We are here on Oyandia, another episode that we're recording. And Dr. Cece, the actionist, she has a question for you.
Absolutely. Dr. Cece?
It's low, Yessie.
It's hard to
still
hear
low?
them.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can increase your volume, Alex. It says it's low.
Sure thing. Take your time adjusting the volume on your end. Just let me know if you can hear me better after that.
Is it still low?
It's
It's a little bit better.
A bit now, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Just let me know if it's coming through any clearer.
Right there.
Okay. Ask away, Dr. Cece.
Yeah. Hey, Alex. So do you think, Alex, do you think when people are dancing and happy while shopping, that shoplifters or shoplifting is actually decreased?
That is such an interesting question. You know, it's actually pretty possible that a cheerful, positive atmosphere could discourage shoplifting a bit. People who are happy and dancing around probably feel more seen and part of a community guide, which might just lower the urge to do anything sneaky. So yeah, I'd say there could be a bit of a connection there.
Is there scientific proof at all that you can pull from, or any data or research? I'm not sure if anyone has ever done research on that correlation.
You know, it's definitely a fun question to think about. I don't know any specific studies off the top of my head that directly link dancing and happiness in a store to reduce shoplifting, but there is research out there that shows a positive, upbeat environment can improve people's moods and make them less likely to engage in negative behavior. So while I can't pull a specific study out of a hat right now, I've got some psychological logic behind it.
Okay, perfect. Let me see if they have any other questions for you. Any other questions for Alex?
Yes.
No, thank you, Alex. Have a great night.
I'm here.
I do.
Uh-huh.
I do. I have a question. So, Alex, I was looking at a video yesterday, and please tell us the logic on this, if this is true or not, about Project 25, about changes to the professional degree classifications. For example, the degrees are not going to be as heavy as it used to, and it's decreasing in value. Like, for instance, therapist, counseling, nursing, social work, and physical therapy.
Oh, that's an interesting topic. So, from what I know, there's been some discussion in recent years about how certain professional degrees are being reevaluated or reclassified. Sometimes this is because there's a shift in how skills are valued or how education is delivered, but I haven't heard of a specific Project 25 initiative that directly says these degrees are going to be less valuable across the board. In general, there's always a conversation about
It's for women.
demand for certain credentials changes. So it's definitely worth looking into more details or seeing if there's any concrete policy around that. But I'd say in general, those professions like counseling, nursing, social work is still going to be really important.
Alex, to clarify, Nadine is talking about a post. Now, we don't know if this is true or if somebody was just starting it to, create clout. But nevertheless, just wanting to understand if it is true that those degrees that Nadine mentioned are going to be no longer considered a professional degree. But from what you're sharing, it sounds like that may not be true, correct?
For women's roles. It's for women's roles.
Right. So from everything I've seen, it doesn't look like there's any official move to downgrade those degrees as professional qualifications. It sounds more like one of those rumors that can flow around online and get people talking. So I think you're absolutely right. As far as I know, those fields like nursing, social work, counseling are still definitely considered professional or valuable. So you should be in the clear on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex.
Topic.
Let me read the post. It says recent U.S. federal actions and proposals in 2025 have sparked concerns about diminishing women's roles, particularly within care-oriented professions like therapists, nursing, social worker, and physical therapy, by effectively creating financial barriers to education in these fields. This is part of a broader agenda often associated with Project 2025, which critics argue aims to roll back workplace protections and define a specific traditional role for women in society. changes to professional degree classification, the most direct impact on fields like therapy has come from new federal regulations that redefine what counts as a professional degree for student loan purposes, a change set to take effect in July 2026. I saw a video on TikTok about that, and then I Googled it.
Let me go a little bit into this, y'all, because I think the language could have been better said on this very topic, right? And our special guest, right? She is a nurse, so she'll be able to hopefully give some insight as well. But I was, when I read that, because my background physical therapy as well, right? I was like, what? Like, it was like when you read it and say like, my degree is non-professional, right? It was like, what? It was kind of like a slap in the face. Like, my degree is complete. Any degree is professional. If you are performing a service and you're being a professional, if I'm a janitor, this is a profession. Occupations, right? We use the terms, interchangeably with saying whether it's a profession or a job or whatever. Now, there are different definitions to the word occupation. It means something different than an actual job. Okay. So let's be clear about that. So the language with this, right? And all the conjecture that we're hearing about it, the bottom line truly, right? Without ruffling feathers or trying to discriminate or put certain occupations down and genders and all that stuff. The bottom line is trying to mitigate people going into like the poorhouse when it comes to education, right? So President Trump is trying to say, hey, these these educational institutions, right? They'll charge you. You go to Harvard, you go to Morehouse, you go to, Duke, whatever, right? They can all charge you whatever they choose to charge you. Because we know that all universities don't have all of the same degree fields, right? All of the same programs. So it's kind of like supply and demand. So if there's one educational institution, say the University of Texas and the University of Arizona, and the University of Texas has the degree field that you desire to get in, but Arizona does not, right? And they're the only ones that do it, then they can charge you exorbitant amounts. So instead of you going to get like a $400,000 loan, because people are paying that much back in student loans, which is crazy. Okay, that's as a home. It might be two homes, just depending on where you live, right? So the goal is to get these financial institutions to basically lower the cost. It shouldn't cost us, y'all, $500,000 to get an education. And then you get interest on top of that, and you're paying interest back over this time. That's not right to the American people as a student. And y'all know I'm a professional student, okay? I done did it all. I done achieved the highest degree in the land, okay? So there's nowhere else for me to go unless I just get something else. Right. I had to know my budget. So to keep people out of the poorhouse, they're saying, hey, there needs to be a limit. You guys can't just be charging all willy-nilly all over the place, people this education. Now, I believe that it is wrong because nurses, social workers, physical, occupational, they are like, these are serious careers. And even in the field of physical therapy now, they want you to have a DPT. That's a doctoral degree, right? Even in the field of with our next guest that's going to be coming on, right, talking about holistic medicine and things of that nature, for nurse practitioners, physicians assistants, all of these people, right? Those are professions, right, that help offset a lot of the load for the actual doctors, and they are needed. So I know that the language could have been so much better. It could have been so much better saying that these are non-professional degrees. Like, what are you talking about? My bank account, right, the money that I'm paying my loan tells me that this is a very professional. As a matter of fact, it tells me that it's $399,000 worth of profession. Okay, so I know, because when I saw it, this is the thing that came up in my mind, and probably for your views and probably for you as well. My thought, and this is the thought of people, they begin to think like, is this going to decrease my value, my pay, my wage, right? Because when you go and get a higher education, a degree, whether it's an associate, bachelor's, master's, whatever the case may be, for you attaining that certification, that license, that degree, whatever the case, you expect a higher pay. You expect it because you went and you did the extra work versus somebody else just coming in, just say maybe getting a high school diploma, but they're coming in to do the same job. They can't, because my technical expertise tells me that I need to get a higher wage because I know a little bit more. I'm not going to get everything at the same high school educational level versus a collegiate level. You see what I'm saying? Life experience, entrepreneurship, that can be something a little bit different. But my education basically enables me, or is supposed to provide me maybe a top tier of knowledge that maybe a person that's below that whole educational field may not get. Just like if you received your bachelor's, you're going to get that education at the bachelor's level versus somebody at the master's level who's going to get a little bit more. So they should get paid a little bit more because they know a little bit more, right? That's in theory, right? In theory, this is how it's supposed to work. So it's really to say, hey, colleges out there, don't go charging us $500,000 for education. There needs to be a cap. And here's the thing. It's saying if you want to go.
CC frozen?
Can you see me? Oh, she froze.
She's frozen.
Yes. You're going to be maxed out at 100K. Oh, you're going to be maxed out at 100K. And if you want to attain that degree, you have all the free will to do that, but you're going to have to go get another loan to offset that, right? It's just like your home loan or any other thing that you want to go and buy. The bank says we're going to give you X number of dollars, but it's not all the money that you need. You're going to have to go and find somewhere else to get that extra money, right? To pay and offset the cost of that. So that's my understanding of it without trying to get all, I'm just like, give me the black, white, just cut it, just how it is. What are you trying to do here?
So if that's the truth, and if they're really doing it, you think that's something they're going to be doing just so that they could minimize the women's pay? I mean, if they look like
it has nothing to do with women or men. It has nothing to do with gender. It's all about money. It's all about money because you got men and women in all of those same professions, right? You got male nurses, female nurses, male physical therapists, all that stuff. And the thing that was funny to me was this chiropractic medicine was considered a professional degree. When chiropractic medicine, when you do the history on it, it was seen as quackery medicine. Like they didn't really give it clout. You know what I'm saying? Because the physical therapist, when you go and you get the different certifications, you can crack backs and do all of those things, right? Those different modalities. And our guest, we should really kind of introduce her on because she can talk to a lot of those things, right? Just being in the health profession and things of that nature. So everything that a chiropractic person can do, a physical therapist can do a lot of those things as well. Right.
But the post that said about women, that's why I said that it specifically said about women. I'm going to find that video and drop it in the group.
I think that's just inflaming language. I think it's just inflaming language. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it something more than what it's not. The bottom line is money. We know green is like the best. America sees green as being the best color in the whole wide world, right? Because money talks, right? So, but it's really truly about people not going into a lot of debt. And it's saying, if you want to go and get that degree, get it. But you know what? You're going to have to the federal, because here's what happened with the colleges. See, the federal government has to back it. You see what I'm saying? So these institutions are like, hey, I don't care because I'm going to get the money from the government. The government's saying no more. We're going to put a cap on it. So if we're putting a cap on it, then you're not going to get that extra money from us. You're going to have to get it from that loan, from whomever else, because that Pell Grant's not going to pay for this. You see what I'm saying? And even the Pell Grants are capped. You can only get so much with that. So the federal government's saying, no, we're going to save some money. And you all need to be fair and right by the American people and give them a fair education at a fair price. You see what I'm saying? Because I can guarantee you, and I know this is true for so many people out there, we pay $300,000, $400,000 for an education, but I don't get a $304,000 salary to go do that job that I just got educated for. You see what I'm saying? I don't even get half of that. You see what I'm saying? I might not even get 30 or 40% of that. You see? So if I'm paying all this money for education, then I need to have a wage or a salary that's going to mirror that. You see?
Absolutely. That makes sense. So I know we have our guests behind the scenes waiting. So what we'll do, because Alex was able to pull up some more research on that, listening to you all talk. So we'll talk about that next week. But for now, we're going to go ahead and transition to our special guest who's patiently waiting for us behind the scenes. I'm excited to bring her on. And Dr. Cece, would you do us the honors to please bring on our special guest, read her bio for us?
Absolutely. I have my spectacles, so we are ready to learn, students. No. No, but it is a pleasure and an honor to welcome and have Kanina Garner, who is a registered nurse and certified holistic health practitioner. So she can talk about this stuff, right? With over 20 years of experience in the healthcare field. Her journey began in traditional Western medicine and behavioral health, where she developed a strong clinical foundation and a heart for patient advocacy. Over time, Kanina was drawn to a deeper, more integrative approach to healing that honors the body's innate intelligence and addresses the root causes of imbalance. Driven by a passion for whole person care, which I love that, right? Kanina pursued advanced training in functional nutrition, ozone therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, craniosacral therapy, and the Perrin technique. At GIE, she spells it in her company, GIE, and there's a story behind that, y'all, but we pronounce it GIE Wellness. She integrates these evidence-informed modalities to support clients on their path to physical, emotional, and energetic wellness. And I just got to say, my husband and I have partaken of her holistic approach, and it's been phenomenal. Kanina is committed to offering compassionate, individualized care in a safe, empowering environment, whether working with complex chronic conditions or supporting clients in preventative health and vitality. Her goal is always the same: to guide each person back to their most aligned, resilient, and vibrant self. Based out of Harker Heights, Texas, Kanina enjoys cooking. We love to eat, so cook for us. Walking, traveling, and spending time with her family and her beloved Dashawn named Goji. Hey, Goji! She continues to deepen her expertise through ongoing research and advanced training in holistic healing. So, without further ado, let's welcome Kanina Garner.
Hello, ladies. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, bienvenida
Thank
to Hoy
you.
en Día.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are super thrilled to have you. So you have a very robust, impressive bio. Wow.
Oh,
And I'm
thank
really
you.
excited to talk about this topic, especially with all that we're dealing with in our world today, right? Especially around food and health. And so with that in mind, who do you say you are? In a nutshell, who is Kanina Garner?
So I always think who I am to my family and friends. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a student, forever student. I'm a daughter, but ultimately I just feel like I'm a deeply intuitive woman who's just kind of guided by my purpose. And I'm just moving in alignment with what I feel like my calling is. And that's just holistic health, just treating the whole body. And I mean, I just love to educate people. If anyone knows me, and if you know who the people that I talk to, I always talking to people about just how they can improve their health.
That's impressive. So I like to take it to the beginning. I want to know the foundation of what motivated you to start into this journey of holistic medicine. So do you remember what motivated you to say, hey, I want to start doing this. I want to help people.
Yeah. So kind of two short stories that I can make long, but two short stories. So I've had digestive issues like my entire life. Just as a little girl, I just remember having so many digestive issues, and it followed me into my adulthood, and I was always just struggling with that. And I was super healthy, ate well, was very athletic. I ran, I was a bodybuilder, like I did all the things. So I've never like taken medication at all, like just my whole life. Growing up with my grandma, she was very holistic back in the day already. Like she would send me to to one of my friend's house to pick leaves off a tree, and she would boil them because she had diabetes, and she would use that for her blood sugar. So I was like, wow, that's crazy to me, but it worked. So in a nutshell, dealing with a lot of the digestive issues. And then later on in life, after being in the military for 11 years, I still struggle with some hormonal imbalances that I didn't even realize that was a thing, because I've gone to the doctors and everything, and they could never really truly tell me what was going on with my digestive issues, the hormonal imbalances. So that brought me to moving to Korea with my family. My husband was stationed there, and we were living in a water damaged house, and I didn't realize that the house had mold or water damage, and that really just kind of plummeted my health. And I went from running 10 miles a day, lifting weights all the time, looking way younger than I actually was. Everybody thought me and my daughter were sisters, and she was still in high school, to barely being able to walk. Like I couldn't function, I couldn't think. There were days that I didn't even know my name. I could look at a cup on a counter and not tell you what that was. So just experiencing that, I couldn't work. So I didn't work for like 3 years. I just put myself into a place where I prayed a lot, and I just studied nonstop. Like every waking moment, all I did was just study. And I just truly believe that God took me through a lot of things. And I told Cece about a dream that I had several years before I ever got sick. And it just kind of, everything aligned with what I feel like God was calling me to do. So I just promised that once my body healed, because I believe that it could, I would use everything that God brought to me to just kind of help my community, help whoever needs to be helped, help who look like me. And I don't mean like as a Black woman, but help a person who didn't have a voice, and going to doctors and not having an answer. And the answer was, oh, maybe it's mental health issues. I haven't had any mental health issues in 45 years, but now all of a sudden I have mental health issues because you can't figure out what's going on with me. So I literally just took it upon myself to learn as much as I possibly could. And I still every day I study, like every day I'm learning something, and I just love educating people because I do believe the body is designed to heal.
Thank you for that. Nadine or Cece, follow-up questions before I ask mine.
Yes, so I think it's related to the question similar to what you asked. I was going to ask what inspired you to move from traditional nursing into holistic wellness, but that's similar to what you answered, right? So is that the same question? Or yeah, kind of.
Well, I can add a little bit more to it. Even when I worked in, so I started off in the Army as a medic. I was young, very young, went into the Army at 17, transitioned into physical therapy. I was a physical therapy tech. But even though I was always immersed in Western medicine, that was never my mindset. Like I don't take meds, and I had a lot of health issues back when I was younger because of the issues that I had, but I never would take meds. And I studied so much, and I would find myself just going to health food stores. This is before we had the internet that you could Google things. Like in my early 20s, I was doing colon hydrotherapy. I was visiting naturopaths, iridologists, where they look in your eyes and kind of tell you what's going on in your body. I've done that my whole life, even though I've been working in Western medicine. And there was a point where I looked into becoming a naturopath. There weren't very many schools back then when I was thinking about it, but there was one in particular, and we were in Washington State, Bastyr. So I wanted to go to Bastyr, and then my husband got put on orders to move, and there weren't very many naturopathic universities or schools back then. But I can say, even from a very young age, I was always just kind of like dabbling in what was natural, and that's where I've continued. So even though I'm in Western medicine, there's more of a platform where we can just kind of spread out. And I feel like that's happening more and more. Like I'm seeing more nurses and some doctors that are transitioning over to functional medicine, integrative medicine, Eastern medicine. So it's coming up, and I'm so happy to see that. But yeah, I think that I've never really been a Western medicine person most of my life.
What do you say now to, with the comparison kind of contrast of Eastern style medicine and also Western style medicine? Because I know you don't like completely shun Western style medicine, but just finding that whole Eastern component is more of a holistic. Whereas we see in Western medicine, it's just, okay, this is your sign, this is your symptom. Okay, here's a med for it. And then that'll treat that sign and symptom, but this medicine is going to give you more signs and symptoms. So then we're going to give you another med for that. So
Yeah.
How does the Eastern medicine not do that, right?
So everything to me, I feel like when I talk to clients, I always talk about how we come from the earth, and everything that we need comes from the earth. And then when you start going in and creating synthetic things, like we're not supposed to have synthetic things in our body. Do they help? Do they help kind of mute the symptoms? Absolutely. But what else comes from muting the symptoms? You're not getting to the root cause of it. So the disease is still there, and the pathology is still there. So you're not fixing the root. So when we see other things that start to branch off from these roots, you're creating other issues. And I talk to clients that will say, well, I don't have diabetes or I don't have hypertension. And then I'll look at them and say, well, do you take hypertension meds or do you take diabetes medication? Well, yeah, I do, but I don't have hypertension and I don't have diabetes. And I'm like, but you still do. And as soon as you stop taking those medications, your symptoms are not going to be as controlled, but you still have other issues. You have not healed. And so I just look at it going back to the earth, because literally everything that we need comes from the earth.
Wow.
Do you think, just one. So do you think that people see Eastern medicine, just like, when new therapies are coming on board, like chiropractor, right? It seems quackery medicine, all that kind of stuff. So do you think that people see naturopathic medicine, all of this stuff, as like the quackery kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I know the big pharma wants to push that agenda and that narrative, right? But do you think that like the world, like say here in just the US, do you think that most Americans feel or think that this is kind of quackery, this is kind of crazy, this stuff isn't really going to work? Or do you see them kind of leaning more to the more Eastern style, more natural style medicine versus the pills and all that stuff?
Well, it kind of varies for me, because I mean, like I work with a bunch of providers who they're very Western medicine minded only. Like I've even had a boss who called me a quack. And I'm like, you know, you're going to eat those words one day. Wait till your health gets to a point where you need some assistance and you're not getting what you need. Like you're so ill that you're willing to do whatever it takes to feel better or to heal a loved one or something like that. And you'll come back around. And I think that that's where people kind of cross the road to the other side, to the bright side is what I call it, and not the dark side. But when you are at the lowest low and you have nothing else that can help, and you've seen that nothing that Western medicine is doing is helping you. And I think that that's when people kind of convert. But for the most part, I don't know if all of them think that it's quackery. I think that people are not educated. But they trust doctors. They trust that this doctor has their best interest at heart. But what I've seen when COVID started, the world started changing, the mindset started changing so much. And it was so refreshing to see people. I remember when I was in Germany at the time, and that's when we got locked down from COVID. Like I started hearing people talk about doing other treatments. Like one lady I saw on Instagram, she was talking about ozone therapy. And I was like, holy cow. But the crazy thing is, or not crazy, but the one point is in other countries, they're already using ozone. Like they've been using ozone for years in Europe. They have ozone machines on their ambulances in Europe. And then other countries, like they use ozone just predominantly to treat cancers and other things. So there's so many things that other countries are doing, but because big pharma isn't on board, because it doesn't cost a lot of money and it actually helps a person heal and doesn't just kind of give them a band-aid or a pill for an ill. So I think that that's where the issues come into play. Even my own husband, he says to me, I said that I wasn't going to do something that a doctor told me to do. And he says, this man went to school for this. He has a degree in this. He's the subject matter expert. And I said, not with my body, he isn't. And I'm not doing any of that because I've done the research. I know what happens. And if we're in this country that says, hey, you can't use this type of contrast in a person's body, it's restricted, but you still use it in the US, I'm going with Europe every day. I'm going with what they say in Europe every day because this is the only body that I have. And when you do something to harm me, and you get to go home every day and I'm over here suffering. So I think that people are just not educated and they're afraid because they believe what the doctors tell them. And it's hard, like if you're not in the medical field, it's hard to do all the research. And sometimes for people, they just don't have the capacity to learn certain things. And so they're going to believe and trust this expert who's here to help them.
Because I think because it's their big push to big pharma, and I can't believe he uttered those words to tell you that you are a quack. That was just
yeah, it was so disrespectful. We have this relationship, but I was like, I'm a little offended, and you have all kinds of cognitive issues going on right now. You'll be back. You'll be calling me and texting me, asking me what you can do about the ozone.
Listen, I'm from Jamaica. When I grew up in Jamaica, I can't remember any time I was there that I got sick. And now, like with all these things on Instagram, Facebook, there's a couple guys that's showing people the different type of herbs, the herbs you could take for whatever illness is. So I definitely believed in that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my other question for you is, how do you decide which therapies are best for each client?
So with me, I don't know. I have this intuition about things. Like it just kind of comes naturally. And it could be because I've been in medicine my whole life. And I've always been a little bit different when it comes to certain things. It's just certain things just resonate with me. But I do like to individualize my any type of protocol that I put my clients on. I do muscle testing. So it's applied kinesiology where your body will tell you something that's good for you or something that's bad for you, and it shows you weaknesses in the body. And I also do bioresonance scanning. It's like a biofeedback that scans your entire body, and it will literally scan the most minute of a cell, some cells that I've never heard of before in my life, but it shows you literally everything that's going on in your body, down from parasites that you have in your body by name, viruses by name, resonating viruses, bacteria, fungi, all by name, heavy metals by name, food that you shouldn't be consuming. It tells you the functioning of the organs in your body. It can show you your hormone imbalances. It can also tell you when cancers are in your body before they've even truly completely manifested, where if you were going for a lab, you couldn't see it in the lab yet, but this scan shows you everything. And so I'll start my protocols with a scan, a bioresonance scan. And some people don't want to do the bioresonance scan. It could be financial reasons, or some people just don't want to do that because they don't trust it, but it's non-invasive. And it's very simple to do. So I'll either do that, or I'll do like an intake on a client, like just the basic intake. It usually takes about 2 hours because I'm the investigator. I'm investigating everything. You're telling me what's going on in your body, and I can kind of pull from what you're telling me to create this big scenario, like a bigger picture of things. And it's usually pathogen based and toxin based. So our exposures over the lifetime that we've had, and we don't clear a lot of these things out because we're not intentional. And most people aren't intentional because they just don't know. Like, that's not in our culture for the most part. And we start doing things here and there. Oh, I'm going to do a detox for the new year, but it's more than just teas or certain things. Like, it's a whole process. It really is. And so I usually like to individualize things by just kind of listening to my clients and doing the bioresonance scan.
Wow, very impressive. We're actually, before I ask my follow-up question, we're going to go on a quick commercial break to highlight our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just a booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth, in the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
All right, shout out to those two sponsors. We have more sponsors lined up that I will broadcast later on in the show, because we're having such a juicy conversation. Yes. So my follow-up question to you is more about you. Your bio talks about healing at the root. What does that actually mean in everyday language? How does a person heal at the root, and how do you help an individual coming to you heal at the root?
So I usually start off with doing my assessment or my intake for my clients. And if clients like to do lab work, we can do lab work. So what I look for is if someone has, if someone has some issues with histamines, like allergies and other things, I don't just look at, hey, oh, you live in a place that has all these allergens in the atmosphere. No. We weren't born with asthma, or some people are born with asthma, but there's still a root cause, and it can be transgenerational things that get passed down. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the actual root of what's going on. For instance, I've had a baby that had eczema, and we're like, this baby was just born. How does this baby have eczema? So when you're looking for the root cause of things, you go look at the different organ systems that are going to show up in the skin, show up externally. So we'll look at parasites. We're going to look at the organ system, like the liver. The liver is our main detoxer. So when the liver is just bogged down with a lot of toxins and other parasites and other things, I go look for those things that are actually causing the outward symptoms. And so that's how we start getting to the root. And then we can do labs, we can do bioresonance scans, and then I can also do a long history of different things. I ask about your mom, your mom's mom, your dad. Ask about trauma, like just so many. It's a huger focus, and not just, hey, you have diabetes, take this medication. Why do I have diabetes? Why do I have diabetes when I'm doing all these things? Why is my blood sugar still elevated? What is going on in my body? And that's where we start looking for the roots. And so that's how I usually begin things, with just my investigator's eye on and my ears on and listening and finding what that is.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing that. You know, I heard you mentioning several times parasites, right? And so parasites, believe it or not, a good amount of people don't believe that the human body can carry parasites. So
Yeah.
because when people correlate parasites, they correlate to like a cat, a dog, an animal, right? But in reality, and also because I've read it and I've done research on it, and you are here telling us firsthand that humans do carry parasites. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about how that happens and what really causes it. Because from what I was doing some research too, there's a correlation with parasites and cancers as well.
Yes. So with parasites, we got to think about this. We're all animals, like all of us. We're human beings, but we're still all animals, and we're consuming things. We're exposed to different things. You go out and you eat a salad that somebody didn't clean properly. There's going to be microscopic parasites. You can pick up parasites from walking barefoot. So you can pick up parasites from even food poisoning. You can pick up parasites from swimming in dirty water, and that's what just exposure to our environment. You can literally get parasites from anywhere. So there was a doctor, Dr. Simon Yu. He's in St. Louis, and he was in the military. I can't remember. I don't know if he was a lieutenant colonel or not, but he was in Europe, and he got sent over to a third world country to do a mission. And they gave him his formulary of things that you're going to treat these people with. Anti-parasitic medication, because they're a third world country, they're dirty. That's what they think. They think that we're clean, so we don't get parasites. But they think other people who live in third world countries will get parasites because they're dirty. But the thing is, we all have parasites. So he was treating all of these people in this country with anti-parasitics, and they were healing. And so when he went back to Landstuhl in Germany, to the military hospital, he said that he had a long-term patient who couldn't figure out what was going on with him. And then he thought, this guy has all the same exact symptoms that all the people that I saw in this other country had. And he was like, I'm going to try this on him. And the guy started healing from all the different symptoms that he had, all the diseases that he was diagnosed with, just healing. And he was like, oh my God, he probably had parasites. Of course he did have parasites. So Dr. Simon Yu, once he got out of the military, he does holistic medicine now. Like, he has a program where he'll see so many people a month for free, and all you have to pay for is whatever supplements or different types of prescriptions that he puts you on. Like if there's an anti-parasitic that you need prescription wise, he'll give that to them, and that's all they pay for. But at the end of the day, we have so many, you eat with your hands, we have bacteria everywhere. We have bacteria covering our skin. So you're gonna have parasites. Everybody has them. And we also live in a symbiotic relationship with parasites, because we're exposed to heavy metals and different things. You drive a car, you're gonna inhale the metals that come from the fumes and everything. You put on perfume. We bathe in water that's not completely filtered. So our skin absorbs everything. So parasites will eat heavy metals and other things. So the symbiotic relationship is, we need a little bit of something in our body that's not necessarily what we deem healthy, but the symbiotic relationship is what we do need, just not an overburdened system of parasites.
Wow. I was in a holistic group, right? And this lady had posted that she literally posted the worm that came out of her body in the group.
Yes.
And she was asking questions about it, and somebody was telling her, hey, take this, drink this tea, and you'll see it'll flush your system out and stuff like that. So yeah, I believe those things definitely work to get those out of your body. You just have to know what it is that you need to take to flush it out your system.
Exactly. I have a small TMI story. I won't make it too TMI, but when I was in Germany, I was admitted to the ICU. I was supposed to go in they thought that I had some tumors on my adrenal glands. Like, they were just trying to figure out everything, like what is causing her to be this ill. And they were just checking the boxes of everything that they could check. So I was doing a urine catch, and I can't remember how big the containers were that we needed to do a urine catch, but they were large enough where they said people never fill that whole container up. And it was like a 24-hour urine catch. I filled up 2 in less than 12 hours. And I could not stop urinating. It was so bad that I got admitted to the ICU. And I kept telling the doctor, I was like, I've been doing research. Can you check me for parasites? I've been in all kinds of countries. Like, I've probably been exposed to some parasites or something, because I've gone to China. I've been to Cambodia. I was in the water. Just so many things. And they were like, we don't have parasites. That's not something that Americans have. And I'm like, okay, but I think, can you just check me? Long story short, every time I urinated, I felt like I was gonna die. I literally started having, like, I was convulsing because I couldn't stop urinating. And so the doctor asked me if I could do a urine catch. I was like, of course I can. I can't stop peeing. So yes, I can. My daughter wheeled me to the bathroom and I urinated in a little specimen cup. And when I looked in it, there was literally a worm floating in my urine. And right after it came out, I stopped urinating excessively. My mind was blown. That was the first parasite I ever saw that came out of my body, but my body was trying to get rid of it. And so I'm like, I was so sick. I mean, I was so sick. And I was in
Wow.
ICU for a couple of days. But
What was the reaction from the nurse or the doctor who told you we don't have parasites in the
they have to know that we do. The doctor that I saw, she was from, I can't remember. I think she was from Croatia, maybe. I can't remember, but I showed it to her and she was like, I don't think that's a parasite. I think that's your kidney shedding. And I'm like, but why would it look like a worm, one? And why is it only one thing if my kidneys are shedding? And why am I not urinating anymore?
But wouldn't it be blood in your urine if your kidneys were shedding?
Yes, my kidney functions were completely normal. Completely normal. They ran all the tests and they still gaslit me and told me it was your kidney shedding.
Because they have that degree, they don't want to be wrong. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The patients can be wrong, can be right.
Exactly.
And
all my,
because she
Say
sounds like
again?
she. I said, I hope you reported her because you don't sound like you know what you're doing.
nobody was going to do anything. And that's the sad part about the medical system. I've seen so many patients so ill, and I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups of people who've had chronic illnesses, mold, Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, like all these different things. And they will give them a diagnosis. They will put them on a ton of meds, but they still don't listen to the person. Like, you don't listen to me when I'm telling you what's going on with my body, how I feel. And if you're the investigator trying to figure out what's going on with me, I just told you that I've been to all these different countries. Like, test me for something that I'm asking you to test me for. It's not going to cost you anything. They have tests to test for parasites. They have lab work to test for certain things, and they never tested me.
Because their big pushes when they go into these executive meetings in the mornings, and it's just my opinion. I'm never in those meetings because I'm not a doctor. I just think that, they're having those meetings about pushing big pharma and forget the patient's feelings or their complaints. I think that's what it is. They're just pushing meds.
Yeah.
Go get the meds. Ignore what they're saying. Just pretend like you're listening, but push to get the meds. That's what they're doing.
It's the gold standard of care that they follow. And so some of the doctors, like, my heart goes out to some people because I feel like they didn't get into, some people get into the field of becoming a doctor for the money and for the fame or whatever comes with being a doctor. But a lot of them truly want to help people. But when you think about big pharma running the medical system, it's such a conflict. It's such a conflict because what they do, they're looking for what's going to make the money flow in. And it's you, if you're sick, where are you getting this money from? If you keep people sick, you're always going to have a client, always going to have a faithful client coming in for meds and coming in for services. If you heal them, I don't need your services anymore.
So they
sorry, it's my Goji.
Oh, no, you're good. So they're putting a Band-Aid over it for healing. Like you said, healing earlier at the root. They're putting a Band-Aid over it so you can become that return customer and keep your pocket going. So that makes sense. Logically, that makes perfect sense. And that's the reality, the sad reality that a lot of people don't want to realize. A good amount of people understand that, but a good amount of people are like, oh, no, I trust my doctor. Sit down, do some research, right? The doctor is in cahoots with the big pharma who's paying the money to keep that revolving.
They just kind of follow what they've learned in medical school, and they learn that. Like, I saw a doctor by accident. Anytime I would go to the doctor, anytime I would go for an appointment, I would always send a request just for labs. I just want to see lab work when I was in Europe because I was literally treating myself. And I remember sending an email in to the nurse, and I said, I need some labs done. These are all the labs that I need because I'm going to take this to a functional medicine doctor. I was my functional medicine doctor, but I was a nurse. The doctor who I normally saw, he wasn't in. So another doctor reached out to me and he said, I know I'm not your doc, but I want to see you because I have some questions. And so I went in. He said, when I saw the message that you left for the nurse, he was like, I need to see her. I need to see her. And when, he was like, tell me about functional medicine. I want to know everything because I can't do this anymore. He was like, as soon as I get out of the military, I'm going to become an herbalist because I am not helping anybody. And he said he had another doctor friend who had become an herbalist. And I think he became an integrative doctor. And he said, it's completely different on the other side. And my conscience won't allow me to do this anymore. And so I just kind of told him why I was there, what I was doing, and what my plan was. And it was just so phenomenal to see an MD asking me this question. And so I was like, it's going to get better. It has to get better.
I love the humility of that. And, you know, we're not saying don't trust your doctors, but yeah. I'm of the mindset is to trust but verify. Right. Yes. Right. I can hear all that you're saying, and that's nice and that's lovely and that's great. Okay. But I need to verify some things too, because I don't want to take away from the, you know, all of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you spent in your education. I get all of that. I know you had to learn a lot of things, but you know, technology is so readily available. So we can go on and Google, and we know there's misinformation out there. So it's like, respectfully, I come to you because, hey, I have found this online. I do have questions about it because I don't know all of the truths, right? A lot of people don't know how to vet, you know, real information, right? A lot of people aren't reading the journal reviews and the articles. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that. And some of those journals you got to pay, right, to even read some of the articles, the research in there, right? So a lot of times you're just getting this like psychology.com stuff that's out there, right? You know, and so you might not have all of the information. And so it's like, you know, doctor patient, it has to be like you're working collectively. And a lot of times I know in my own experience, you know, the doctors, I'm the doctor, you're the patient, like I'm the God, you know nothing. And it's like, when I get that, I'm really standoffish because we know, like in our communities, right? In minority communities, and I really even hate saying minority communities, but just people of different backgrounds and cultures and socioeconomic status, let's put it that way, right? We're treated differently. Right. And so we may not get the same level of care that another person may receive. There was just here in the media here, just not too long ago, this woman of color was having a baby. She had active contractions and everything. She literally, they told her to leave the hospital. She was okay. And she had her baby in her husband's truck. Right. You know, and the family is not seeking compensation, but they're saying, you know, the accountability needs to be held. And you need to listen to patients. What I've found in medicine and what I've heard from doctors and nurses and whomever, right, the practitioners that are out there, if you listen to the patient long enough, the patient's going to tell you what's wrong with them. The patient, they're already diagnosing themselves. You just got to listen. And with all that extensive knowledge that you've gained and learned and all that kind of stuff, now begin to put the puzzle pieces together. Right. Exactly. And it's okay. I want all the doctors out there to know it's okay to be like, I really don't know what's going on, but I'm willing to listen to the research that you're bringing to me. And I'm willing to work with my other colleagues and do the research to try to help to find out, because we don't know it all. You know, don't blow smoke. I can pick up quick when you're blowing smoke. Right. So don't blow smoke, but just tell me the truth. Like, I don't have all that information right now, but we're going to do some research and we're going to try and get you some answers, because I might not be able to I might not be the one. I might have to go outside of my field, just like that MD did with you, Kanina, and say, tell me more, tell me more. And thank God that he had a conscience about himself to say, I can't do this anymore. This is not just a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I desire to help, to give back, to truly heal people, right? That whole Hippocratic oath, right? So I want to applaud you just for you doing the work. I know you're continuing your education. You said that lifelong student. I feel you, sister, right there, right? But going and getting that further education to become the nurse practitioner, right? All that you're thinking about doing and continuing moving in this field. As I shared with you all earlier, I was actually a patient of Kanina, my husband, and my husband, you know, had some challenging health issues. And so we did one of the bioresonance scans with her. And it was very interesting. And I didn't understand a lot of it. I had one in person back in Georgia a while back, but we did one remotely. And I was like, how does all of this work? Because my mind wasn't minding, okay? So you got all this quantum physics out there and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But she was able to explain it to help us understand. And she was very kind and patient in that. I wanted to go back on to your bio, because you offer a lot. GIE Wellness, you guys offer a barrage of services. Can you just tell us about maybe, you know, what exactly is the whole bioresonance or the craniosacral therapy, some of the different therapies that you use, just kind of in a little nutshell, what they are?
Okay. So I do a lot of different things, and I just feel like it's for the holistic purpose of healing the body. So craniosacral fascial therapy, it was there's if you've ever heard of myofascial release and different things like that, craniosacrofacial therapy is sort of like that. So Dr. Gillespie created CFT for short, and he's a periodontist, and he noticed that babies' heads would form based on the tightness of their mouth, and then other issues would happen after babies were born, like going down the birth canal. It's traumatic for a baby. It's traumatic for the mother, but it's also very traumatic for the baby. And so what we do is we look at all these layers of fascia. So if you look at a huge onion, just, you know how you can peel so many layers of the onion. So that's how our fascia is. And researchers didn't realize how many layers of fascia we had in our body. So that shiny piece of skin that's on like chicken, that's fascia. And we have just multi layers of fascia in our body. So I use just like it's a very gentle modality with my hands, and I'll touch different areas like the cranial area, the sacral area, but it will help the whole body unwind. And the unwinding of the body kind of looks like this. So we talk about our skin being a skin suit. And so you can touch something on the face and unwind the pinky toe. Like the fascia is just connected all over the place, but it holds on to trauma. It holds on to toxins and other things. So once you start releasing this, the face will start looking different. A lot of women like it because it looks like you can have a facelift with this process. It just helps so many things, chronic pain. It helps people who have just really bad anxiety. It puts you in a rest and digest phase. So it does work on the vagus nerve to put you into more of a parasympathetic instead of a sympathetic dominance. And then with the bioresonance scan, it's biofeedback. And so our bodies have frequencies. Every cell in our body has a frequency. Everybody's a frequency being, down to the parasites have frequencies. And so with the scan, it's going to scan your body. It's going to look at all the organs. The software has I guess like a formula that looks at all the different frequencies throughout the entire body. So it can tell you when frequencies are in balance. And so when I look at different things, I'm looking at the functioning of the organs, but I'm also looking at the pathogens that are residing in the body. So we look at numbers called coefficients. I like to look at the 0.0 to 0.2 or 0.3 because that's going to show us the priority things that are causing dis-ease in your body. So when we get to that 0.2, 0.3, that's the frequency of a pathogen in your body, a virus, a parasite, a fungus. And so your body, if that 0.2 or 0.3 is showing up in your body as a coefficient in an organ like a heart, that means that your body is now the frequency of that pathogen's frequency. So that pathogen has a higher frequency than your body. So it's bringing you down to its level of emoting a frequency. And so we want ours to be super, super high, like going past 0.5 is the sweet spot. We want it to be 0.5 and higher. And so anything lower, that means that you're resonating on a frequency of something that's not good for your body.
Wow, that was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So let me ask you this, because I value detoxing.
Yes.
And in the bio, I know that I read that you also value detoxification of the
Yes.
body. For those who don't know or haven't come across the term detox of the body, would you, one, explain that to them, what that is? And then also, two, do you have a recommended detox that us as humans should be doing to help take care of ourselves?
So we think about detoxing our body's natural process of sweating, peeing, pooping, even breathing. And so if people I'll back it up to say this, we have so many different exposures. Babies come into this world with a pathogen or a burden on their liver and their systems because they get whatever their moms had in them. So when I talk to moms when I talk to ladies who've never had babies, I say, it's really good for you to detox, because the quickest way for you to detox is to get pregnant, because everything that you have in your body goes into your baby's body. So a lot of women who've been sick and have autoimmune diseases or disorders before they ever get pregnant, when they're pregnant, they're like, I feel amazing. It's also because of some hormones and other things that your body produces so you can carry this baby. But a lot of that stuff will transition, and the baby does suck all of those things in. So detoxing, you're going to work on just kind of like sweating daily. You're going to work on your detox pathways of drainage. Peeing, pooping, sweating, and breathing are the major things that we need to work on. So if you think about Europeans, especially, I think it's Finland that has the saunas, but most Europeans have a sauna in their house. Like that's a staple in their home. But sweating daily is something that we need to be doing because that's how your body gets rid of things that shouldn't be in there. And for years and years, I was not a sweater. I had a lot of mitochondria dysfunction. And when people don't sweat, that is not normal. When people brag about, oh, I don't sweat at all, I never sweat. That is not good. We're supposed to sweat. We're supposed to pee. We're supposed to poop every day, 3 times a day. So there's certain things that you can do, like when you talked about the cayenne, because it will speed up the metabolism. It will help you it will help with detoxing. But some of just the very simple things that I tell people to do, walking when it's hotter outside, make sure you stay hydrated because that's also a process of drainage. But saunas, I like infrared saunas. Taking a Epsom salt bath, make sure you have a filter on your bathtub. If you don't have a filter, if you live in an area that has good clean water, then you don't really need a filter. I live in Texas. Our water is horrible. So you can also put things in your water like the I tell clients to get the big tub of vitamin C because that will neutralize some of the toxins that come out of your water if you don't have a water filter. But Epsom salt, I recommend humic and fulvic acid, the powder that you can put in the water, because it will help draw things out of your body. Even like detox systems, they're very, very beneficial for helping a person detox systemically too. So there are different things that you can take to help detox, like nettle will work on the kidneys, dandelion also works on the kidneys, the liver, milk thistle. It helps with liver function, but it does help with helping the liver detox. But there's a host of other things that I recommend because I do work with homeopathy. So Desbio is one of the I don't know if I can say that. Is that okay? Okay. So Desbio is one homeopathy company that I work with, and they have lots of different detox programs that are detox protocols that I use that I kind of individualize for my clients. I have a genetic mutation. It's a mutation in one of my methylation genes. And when you have mutations in your methylation genes, you don't detox as well. So I'm compound heterozygous for MTHFR, and that's been coming out more and more. Like there's lots of people who have platforms that talk about MTHFR, but so I don't detox well. So I have to help my body detox. So I have an infrared sauna, I have a detox system. So a lot of the things that I've been using in my home, that's how I started my business. Like a lot of the things that I was already using for my body's healing and my family's healing, I transitioned them into my business. And so you can just different things for different people. It just depends on their system too, and their nervous system also.
Yeah, so for the bathtub, I think you could drop, like, if you have, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Dettol, you could put like a half a cap of Dettol in your water when you're taking a bath.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. What is it called again?
Dettol, Dettol.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
What is that? What is it? And what does that do, Nadine?
It's an antiseptic. Yeah, they use it in the hospitals. I mean, I've been knowing about it from Jamaica. We use it in Jamaica a lot. So you can look it up and see the ingredients. It's really good.
Oh, okay. Is it like a natural?
Yes, it is
antiseptic?
natural.
Okay.
It is.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah,
clay.
you could use it, clean your house, and all you need is a drop of it, like a little bit, for like a half a cap of it, and put it in like a gallon of water and use it. You could use it and clean your house, to clean your bathroom,
that's awesome.
clean your toilets, and just make it fresh.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I have one more question, Miss Kanina. What is the most memorable healing transformations you've seen or done?
Oh wow, so many. My own, for one. I was diagnosed with a blood disorder that causes multiple myeloma or leukemia, blood cancer. And when I started seeing the oncologist, they told me that it would never go away. It would just progress. So they would watch and wait until the cancer developed, and then they would start treating me with maybe chemotherapy or just whichever one I had. But I started going down a rabbit hole of what causes leukemias, what causes multiple myeloma, and it just kind of brought me back to different viruses like Epstein-Barr virus was one of the things that I found in my rabbit hole of research, but I was able to reverse that. And they say, I had a follow-up with my oncologist last week, and he said that, I think he said there's 20% of people who reverse IMGA. So I had the precursor to it. And he said that I think that you fall into that category of someone who reversed it. But I had it for 3 years and I did a detox. I saw the oncologist like maybe in July and went back in 6 months later after having this blood diagnosis for over 3 years. And in 6 months, I don't know at what point in between the 6 months of my follow-up it went away, but it has been gone for over 4 years and has not returned. And
Wow.
then, yeah, it's just, I mean, amazing to me. And I did a lot of stuff. Like I did a lot of stuff in that 6 months.
You know, my dad died of multiple myeloma.
Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry to
If
hear
I had
that.
known you then, you know.
But yeah. Oh, and it's just, I'm in a lot of multiple myeloma groups and our MGUS groups. That's where we have the precursor before it goes over to multiple myeloma or leukemia. And one lady was like, "Can you reverse this?" And I said, "Well, I was able to reverse it." And the amount of people in that group who came for me, I was like, why are y'all angry? One, I just told you that I don't have this anymore. My oncologist said you can never get rid of this, and you didn't have it in the first place. You didn't have it for real. And I was like, but I can show you my receipts. I got labs. I don't need to lie. Like, I'm not trying to get anything out of you all. I'm just telling you what I did. And one woman, she messaged me, like she DM'd me, and she said, I knew that there was a way to reverse this. I knew that there was. But they also tell us that MGUS doesn't have any symptoms. But everybody in all the groups are so sick, but it doesn't have any symptoms. So long story short, that was one of the biggest things. And then the second one, there were two, but I won't tell. My cousin has a story, and Cece, you know my cousin. And so she was able to reverse cancer with all holistic treatments. She started off with some others. She started off with Western medicine, and my aunt, her mom, our moms are sisters. She got her to finally contact me, and she was like, I don't know about this. I need to do some research. And she called me like 2 weeks later, and she was like, I'm all in. And she reversed it completely with no chemo. She did a little bit of treatments in the very beginning, but very short, and she reversed it completely. But she has her testimony. And then my last one, I just had a lady who she had just had a baby, 5 weeks old, 5-week old baby, and she had mastitis really, really bad. And she was like, I'm not going to the hospital. And I'm like, well, if you have a fever, I can't put my hands on you. Like, I'm not going to do that. But she told me she didn't have a fever. I don't know if she took Tylenol or whatever, but when I went over, she didn't have a fever. She looked like she had been run over by a Mack truck. She looked bad, and she's really, really young. And so her breasts were inflamed. So I did craniosacrofacial therapy on her. And I think I did a treatment for like an hour, and then I patched her with my LifeWave patches. Within less than 24 hours, less than 12 hours, her pain went from like a 9 out of 10 to maybe a 2 or 3. And in less than 12 hours, all her pain was completely gone, just completely gone. She left me a review on my page, my business page. And then I did craniosacrofacial therapy on her newborn, the 5-week-old. She said, my baby has not slept more than 2 hours at a time since she's been out of my body. And I did maybe 5-10 minutes of craniosacrofacial therapy on the baby. The baby slept all night. She said she slept for like 8 hours straight. And then she woke her up to feed her, and she went back to sleep. And she was just like, oh my goodness. And
what is this therapy called? Microfacial?
Craniosacrofacial therapy.
Wow, honey, we gotta send all the angels to protect you, because if Big Pharma looking down and saying this lady honey.
No, there's other people doing some of this good stuff too. There's other people out here, thank the Lord. And then
that's amazing.
One last one, really quick. I had a 2-year-old who had Giannotti Cristini. Never heard of this before in my life. He was covered, whole body covered. His face was just covered. His mom left a review, and she posted pictures too, just covered with like these open, looked like he'd been torn up by mosquitoes. And the doctors were like, oh, I think you all have bed bugs. And she was like, we all live in the same house, but he's the only one that's getting bitten by bed bugs. She was going from doctor to doctor. I think she said she saw like maybe 5 or 6 doctors. And then she heard about another lady whose child had Giannotti Cristini, and they did ozone. So I don't do IV ozone yet, just because I have a lot going on with school, work, and having a business. So I do other forms. I do ear insufflation. I let you breathe ozone. I can put it in your nose, and then I do rectal and vaginal ozone. But obviously, I'm not going to do any of those on the 2-year-old. But he was just covered in a rash, and he had had it for over a month, and they said it was self-resolving, like it would just go away eventually. His was getting worse. His mom brought him in. I put some ozone in his ears. The next morning, she was like, oh my God, this is magic. It was already clearing up. I only did 3 ozone treatments on him, and his body had cleared up. Like I would get her to send me before and after pictures for the 3 days, and it was just phenomenal. But those are my healing stories. That is just, I love it.
That's impressive.
We need to
Wow.
send people to you, because I know people who have like high blood pressure and diabetes and all these things. They need to come see you pronto.
The body is designed to heal if you give it what it needs.
Yeah, so because I am actually interested in this cranial sacral therapy, I looked it up because I was like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting." And so, for those who don't know, it's a gentle hands-on therapy that focuses on the skull, cranium, the spine, and the sacrum, the bone at the base of your spine. And it works for craniosacral system, the membranes around your brain and spinal cord, the cerebral fluid that flows in the membranes and the bones of the head, spine, and pelvis. And it releases tension deep in the body, improves the nervous system function, and promotes whole body healing.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to have you, do whatever you do. I'll schedule you soon, ma'am, because, I think I need a little bit of that in my life. So do you do virtual, or is it in person? How if somebody wants to work with you or book you for your services and get a holistic help, how does that process work to work?
So if people are local, I do in person. Well, I have somebody who flew here to see me from Maryland. So I do in person and I do virtual things too.
Beautiful. Okay. And are you, when you say in person, are you in North Carolina, or are you in a different
No,
state?
I'm in Texas.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, good to know, because I'm in North Carolina, so that means I'm gonna have to do virtual.
I'm gonna add you to Facebook.
Yes.
Awesome. Also, oh gosh, I got so excited to come see you, but then I lost my train of thought. So, any other questions from Nadine or Cece?
No, that was all the questions. Oh my God, I've been schooled today. Like, geez.
Yes. No, I just want to say thank you, Kanina, so much for just, agreeing to come out onto the show to just share with the world. Some people have never even heard of this stuff. A lot of people might think it's hocus pocus and quack medicine and all of this stuff. But you know what? Just everything has a beginning, right? Everyone has to start somewhere. And so we build on these things. And I'd much rather do something that's not invasive, like Western medicine, or taking all these pills that I don't even know what they are, if they even are what they say they are, and it's affecting my body. I mean, we're being bombarded with our environment just from smelling, toxins on a day-to-day. I was driving today and because the weather was nice, but the car in front of me, all the smog. And I was like, oh, this smells, and I had to roll up the window. You see what I'm saying? But my body's I've already inhaled that, right? And so being able to get these things, out of our systems and things of that nature. So so much for taking the time just to share a little nugget, right, about our health and well-being and how we can go and we can become healthy. Because I do believe, just like you believe, and I know it is true, that our bodies can heal themselves. Our bodies can regenerate. We get new cells, y'all, right? If we get proper sleep, and a good diet, they will regenerate. Our skin is like the biggest organ on our body, right? We got to be able to take care of it. And when, environmental factors are always compounding on us day to day, oxidation, all the stuff that goes with it. We have to know how to be able to take care of ourselves. And so just doing a simple detox bath, right? Just starting there. Now there's more invasive, more deeper things, with different detoxes and pulling things out of your body, because you have to have binders and things of that nature. We might have to have you on for another show just to talk about that, right?
I will. I'll be here.
Right. Because I did a detox. So if you've ever been to Sprouts, right? Sprouts, we went there, and the people that work like in the whole like holistic medicine, you know, for all the stuff that you get. Those people actually have certifications. I did not know that. And the young lady that worked in Sprouts, we were telling her we wanted to detox for parasites and we know whatever metal, whatever, right? And she said that's all fine and well and good. And so she was showing us different products, but she took it a step further and she was saying, well, you know, you have to detox, you know, based on like the lunar cycles of the moon, because when the parasites hatch and the eggs and all of that, you have to be able to try to get. So I didn't know any of that stuff, and I was like, when she started telling me, I was like, makes sense, right? Because our calendar that we're on is a Gregorian calendar, but the world was on a lunar calendar, so you can tell your seasons. Like, you know, we're in fall now. You know, this is all by the moons and stuff. So it's very interesting. So again, I just want to say thank you. Everyone, take time to take care of your health. I love what you said about resting and digesting, because in resting, you know, you can properly digest and things of that nature from everything, not just health, right? But just even in your mind, right? Being able to process things. We say digest, processing in the mind, right? To be able to think clearly in those things. And so you all have heard all of the wonderful testimonies of her clients, even family members that have been healed. I know the family member that's been healed. And I know with the natural medicine and with prayer and just a strong community, you can heal yourself. Like God has given us to be able to do that. So again, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you so
the
much.
biggest issue is sleep. I don't sleep at night. Okay.
Oh, you have to sleep, ma'am. You have to sleep. It's so important.
So Nadine, it sounds like you need to schedule a virtual session
Yeah.
with Kanina. She can help you
Yes.
out. Yeah, see. I mean, hey, I mean, and that's what we're here for, right? This is Oyandia. We are here to positively motivate, enlighten, educate, inspire, and entertain you, the viewer and listener, with each and every episode. And I know we did that today. Like, I'm getting the warm and fuzzy, like I do every week, but especially today because we're talking about self-care, the importance of natural healing, getting to the root cause of taking care of you so that you can live a loving, healthy, positive life with your family, with loved ones, with people you care about, right? That you can continue to prosper and grow and do beautiful things in this world. That's what we want you to do. I mean, come on now. I mean, I'm just saying. And then in the process, take a lot of videos and a lot of pictures because you want to have those fotos and recuerdos, like Selena says, right? Fotos y recuerdos, memories. When you look back and you get older, you be like, remember when we did this? Remember when I did that? Just a little food for thought, especially in light of Thanksgiving, right? And so with that in mind, also, I don't know if we had a chance to ask you this. GIE, GIE Wellness, what exactly does that stand for? And how did that name of business come about? Like that name for the business?
So GIE stands for God in everything. And I put God in everything that I do because God was in everything that I needed to heal. Like he literally gave me everything. And it was just flowing. And I'm like, you know, when I start my business, because my kids and I were trying to come up with a name for my business. And one day, I don't even know where it came from. I was like, I'm going to call it GIE Wellness. And my son was like, what? And I was like, God in everything, because God has literally been in everything that I have done. God has healed my body. He showed me what I needed. And so I'm just going to honor him and name my business after him and do what I'm called to do from him. Like I know he put me on this path. And so I just want to give back. And that's where it came from.
Wow, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. You have been amazing, and I'm really looking forward to having you on very, very soon. I mean, who
Thank
knows?
you.
If you're available next week and bring you on next week. So I'm not sure. We'll talk after we're done.
Yes,
But,
yes.
we are going to approach the end of the show now, where this is last minute words, and this is just for you to remind the viewers and listeners how they can find you, follow you, schedule you for an appointment, etc. If you have a paragraph to say, a favorite quote, food for thought, anything that you can think of that comes to your heart, this is an opportunity for you to do so. And to get you a glimpse, or give you a glimpse of how that looks, we're going to have Nadine start. We'll have Dr. CC go second. You'll go third, Kanina, and then I'll close out the show with the remaining sponsors.
Yes, guys. So as you know, my name is Nadine Barton, Nadine the author. You can find me on Instagram under Nadia B _1202, NADIAB _1202. You can also find my books on my website, NadineBarton.com. If you need a stocking stuffer for the holidays, just buy one of my books for, a family member or a friend. And also my body butters at cabzenza.com, all natural body butters, Cabzenza, CABZENZAH.com. And I'm also a travel agent. You could book with me, call me, whatever the case is, if you need to book a trip. But my favorite quote, like I always say, is life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. So treat people kindly.
I love it. Treat people kindly. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sandra, the Actions with Inspire for Purpose and Girls with Gigs. All right. You can find me on inspireforpurpose.com or girlswithgigs.com, helping you get your mindset clear, right? Helping you get clear about your fears so you can move forward, right? My favorite quote is, remember, nothing positive ever came from negative thinking. We always have to stay in a positive mindset. And as I always love to say, love and light and inspire for purpose.
My name is Kanina Garner, and I am the owner of GIE Wellness. And you can find me at thehealthyguy@gmail.com, or you can Google GIE Wellness, GIE Wellness. And I like to say the body is designed to heal if you give it what it needs, but also there's other components to healing. We need to work on the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional. So just take all that into consideration when you're healing your body.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And before I say my closing statement, I'm going to pivot over to the remaining of our sponsors. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear, available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose.
Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening. It's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy en Día TV, Thursday, 7:30 p.m.
Yes. So, hey, between our sponsors and our guests, we giving you a lot of options for that holiday. You know, Christmas is coming up. You don't know what to gift to someone. Why not gift them with help and healing holistically, right? So reach out to Kanina at GIE Wellness. Trust me, that's going to be an amazing gift already. Also, you don't want to walk around looking dry and ashy. You got to take care of it simple. So invest in some capsules of lotion. And mentally, you want to feel good. You got to be inspired, right? So reach out to Dr. Cece, Inspire for Purpose. She can help you out. So, I mean, hey, also custom made shirts. You have let's say that family reunion. If you're getting together for the holidays, you got that, that morning pajama family gathering, get your custom made shirts, collective wear. I mean, we have a robust list of just options. Also, if you want to get out of the country, because now TSA and everything is working because the government is no longer shut down, book a travel booking with Nadine's Travel Oasis. So there's just a lot of options here. I mean, come on, no excuses. If you can't say you don't know what to give somebody, because we've given you some options to consider. So nevertheless, thank you all for tuning in. I am Jessie Rodriguez. As always, just an amazing opportunity to be here with you all, wonderful people, my amazing co-hosts, and our amazing guests today. I mean, I learned a lot. This was definitely deep thought that we need. And if you're still that person that's like, well, I don't know, this is what I'm going to recommend to you. Do your research. Don't just take it from our word. We believe in it. You have to believe in it. You have to understand. So do your research, do your due diligence, and then you can determine from there what you believe on or not. So, but hey, you can follow me on different social media platforms. At the bottom of the screen, you see where you can find the remaining past shows of Hoy en Día TV. Just go under yessierodriguez.com/Hoy en Día TV1. And you can find us on different platforms. We're on Samsung Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora. The list is long, so I'm not going to say all of it. But again, see for yourself. Go on yessirodriguez.com. On the left-hand view, you're going to see a little drop-down option. Select Oyandia TV, and it'll give you that list where you can find us in past episodes as well. Also, Google me, Yessi Rodriguez, if you want to find out more about me. And my closing statement, like I always say, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Hope you all have a beautiful holiday with your loved ones, and we will see you next week. Hasta pronto. Dios los bendiga. Mwah.